Good evening, Lion Nation, and welcome into the Coach Caleb Ross Show, coming to you live from Buffalo Wild Wings here at High Point Shopping Center in Uptown Prattville. I'm Will Barrett, your host for tonight, filling in for our usual host, Mr. Darrell Puckett, who is currently on assignment in Dallas, Texas, covering the Auburn-Oregon season opener at AT&T Stadium. It's a tough job, but somebody has to do it. At any rate, this is a huge week in Autauga and Elmore County, because tomorrow night in Stanley Jensen Stadium here in Prattville, our Lions will face off against the Stanhope Elmore Mustangs in the long-standing cross-county rivalry, the battle for I-65. We're going to break that game down for you here in the next hour and encourage you to come out and join us at Buffalo Wild Wings. This is without a doubt the place to gather to watch Prattville Lions football, NCAA college football, NFL football on Sundays, and any of their 100 HD screens while partaking in great food and drink at an even better price. Tonight, 75-cent boneless wings all night long. Come out and get some of that. We've got a great lineup of guests tonight on the Coach Caleb Ross Show, and we're going to kick things off with the man himself, Coach Ross. Coach, thanks for coming. Thanks for being part of this show tonight. It's named after you, so we're glad you're here.
Yeah, I probably need to be here, don't I? So.
Probably important that you come. Yeah, we're glad you did. Great week last week against Foley. What a way to kick off the season, jumpstart the season with a shutout.
Yeah, I was proud of the kids. You know, we talked about it earlier this week that all the things of traveling on the road. You're talking about getting on a bus at 10:30. We had an hour and a half delay on the interstate. We're late getting to a pregame meal because of the delay. We're late getting to the walkthrough. We had a pep rally for the first time all year. We had prayer breakfast for the first time all year. And, man, our kids handled it, man, just first class. They were focused. They were dialed in. We got to the field late. I mean, that's just stuff that we never do just because of time. We got to the field late. We were rushing them to get dressed. But, man, they stayed focused. They dialed in. And they play with an edge. And yes, we were a better team. We were the better opponent. I mean, we're the better team going to the game. But our kids took care of business, man. They didn't let the team hang around. From early on, man, we took control of the game. Played really well for the first game of the year.
There's no doubt about it. And he closed the book on Foley. And the next chapter, of course, is this one. It just goes right into rivalry week, Stanhope Elmore. This is a game that you have played in. This is a game that you've coached in, and this is a game that you are now the head coach of Prattville for the last 2 years. Talk about rivalry week and what it means to both schools and both counties as we head into Friday.
Well, I mean, this is like I said, this is old school, man. Like I said, going back to when I was high school, there's probably the last 35, 40 years, this has been a huge game for both schools. Yes, Prattville is probably the bigger school, but I don't know of many games. There may be a handful where this score has not been just super tight, or the game hadn't been really close to the very end. I know all three games when I was in high school, we lost my sophomore year to Stanhope at the very end and beat them in overtime my junior year, and then beat them by 6 points over there my senior year. And I can still remember plays in those games, man. It's a big rivalry for any old Prattville alum, Prattville football player. And, man, it's a big game for Stanhope too. It's just when you're so close, you got neighboring communities like that. Our kids know their kids know our kids. A lot of them grew up together. A lot of them played on different teams together. To me, it's what high school football is about. It's a good example of, American high school football, man. And it's going to be exciting. It really is. And we'll talk later about what for our kids. But I know for the communities, big game, big week.
Absolutely. Now you look at the overall record in this series. Prattville leads at 29, 11, and 1. 29 wins for Prattville, 11 for Stanhope, and 1 tie. Way back in a long, long ago. Yeah. That comes courtesy of Jimmy White, by the way. His Hooray for Prattville book is a great piece of literature if you need something on your coffee table or anything for your Prattville records. It's current up to 2014, and we fill in the rest from there. But Hooray for Prattville is a great book by Jimmy White. Pick that up if you can. It's all around Autauga County. But 29, 11, and 1 is a record in favor of Prattville. But like you said, none of these games have been blowout wins. They've all been very tight, even when Prattville has a state championship caliber team and maybe Stanhope is down a little bit. It's still a tight game. It's always physical.
That's it. I can go back to when I was, like I said, even my senior year, we were probably the better team. Going back to my playing days, we really kind of controlled the game and won 16-10 and had to hang on. I remember back when I was here as an assistant offensive coordinator, 2008, over there, we're down 19-10 or 19-13 going in the fourth quarter, and won the game. The next year, we win 7-6 on a team that played for the state championship. Win 7-6, and Stanhope had to miss a field goal at the end for us to hang on for a victory. It's always going to be. Look at last year's game, last year's game, which you had a monsoon, you had the hour-and-a-half delay, but it was a ball game, man. All the way to the end, took to a last-second kick, where really any team could have won that game. So, man, we expect nothing different this week. It's just going to be a good old blue-collar neighboring community versus neighboring community war out there.
It is the home opener for the 2019 season, and there is a new look, not just for our uniforms. We'll get that in a minute, but the whole stadium has a makeover this year.
Yeah, man, what an outstanding job the city of Prattville stepping up and putting new turf on our field. It looks incredible. Its play is incredible. It's just it was needed. It just really was. I mean, you're looking at 13, 14 years of the old turf that was starting to get worn out. I think they said one game where the hash came up in the middle of the game, so that's not good. But man, hey, those days are behind us now. Beautiful stadium, man. We're super excited, and I know we played a spring game there, and we've been over there a couple times to practice, but really get to show it off to the entire neighboring communities.
Absolutely, it's going to be a full house in Stanley Jensen tomorrow night, and tell us a little about what we're going to see when these Lions step on the field. It's a new look. It's a new look for Prattville Lions.
Yeah, I mean, if you're talking about uniform, we've made a few adjustments. We've just some cosmetic stuff but I want to put my our own touches to it. We put a stripe on the helmet this year. I think the kids are really excited about it. We got a new home jersey. It's still Cardinal. We're going to be Cardinal. That's what we are. But we added a little bit of touch to it to make it nice. And we had Cardinal pants. Now we won't wear those tomorrow night, but we'll wear those more when we're on the road, especially playing on a grass field. Wore those last week, but that stuff to me is it doesn't help you win a game, but it does keep morale up, and the kids really enjoy it. And I had someone one time. That was a couple years ago, and it might have been even at another school, and we was putting something nice and fancy on the helmet, and old coach said, "Coach, why don't we do all that stuff, man? That stuff we don't need all that." And I thought to myself, I said, "Yeah, but you don't have any eligibility left. Those kids do, and they love it. So and
right.
Not that we're going to do everything they want to do, but look, it's about getting these kids really excited about playing a game of football. And so, if that's the case, and that's what we're going to do. I know the kids are fired up about it, but here's the deal. Once that game kicks off, it don't matter what uniform. It don't matter how pretty your uniform looks. You better be able to play football.
That's exactly right. And you mentioned the emotions coming into this week. This is a high emotion, high adrenaline, high intensity game, and you don't want these guys peaking too earlier in the week. Talk about this week of practice and how you've been able to control that emotion leading up to this game.
Yeah, and I've said this before. My goal is, I don't want us. From a football perspective, obviously it's a big game to the communities. But, I don't want us saying, well, Coach, we got to practice a little extra hard because it's Stanhope or because it's Wetumpka or Central or whoever. I want us to have the same mindset every day we go out there. Practice, game. And here's my mind. I have talked to them about Stanhope, and we do because we got to prepare for our opponent. And they know it's going to be a physical game. But I don't want to go add more pressure or add, hey, you got to go play even harder than you ever played before. Look, the community knows it. So when they go home, their mamas and daddies are telling them it's Stanhope week. The kids in the school are telling them it's Stanhope week. The people in the community, they don't need me jumping on making them have to go do something that's not natural. Or, hey, you got to go play out of your normal ability to go win this game. No, just go be you. Go do what you do every day. Be the competitor that we have trained you and coached you to be, and go do your job. And to me, the rest takes care of itself. Okay, it does. It will be a physical game. It always is. But I hope that we play physical no matter what. But just expect that team across the way, they're going to match your physicality. It's always been that way and always will. But for us, from preparation standpoint, we don't treat this game any different. We want to go about the same routine on Monday as we do every Monday. And that's always going to be that way.
You've had a chance now to look at a week of game film on Stanhope. We didn't have that luxury against Foley, but this week you've had a chance to break down the Stanhope Chilton County game from last week, where Stanhope had a statement win and a big win over Chilton County. What do you see in this Stanhope team that's maybe different from last year?
Obviously there's a few kids. They graduated a few kids, but they've had a few kids step up. When I watch Stanhope, they look like a traditional, typical Stanhope football team, man. They can run the ball really well. They got physical offensive linemen. They got playmakers on the edge. They can lull you to sleep running the football, and they take shots and beat you over the top. They are extremely good on the defensive line, probably the best defensive line we're going to see all year. Their box is always strong. They got physical kids at linebacker. They're probably not quite as big this year at linebacker, but they can run. They can move. They always got good-looking kids in the secondary that can run with you. It just looks like a typical Stanhope football team that's going to play extremely hard. They're going to play physical. And, they're going to play with an edge. They're going to play with a chip on their shoulder.
No doubt about it. We're going to step aside and pay some homage to our sponsors here in a minute. You're listening to the Coach Caleb Ross Show on Dixie Country 100.1 FM and on YouTube's Prattville Live channel. When we come back, more of the Coach Caleb Ross Show when we continue after these words.
Chip Powell here at Larry Puckett Chevrolet with sales manager Kirk Mims, where LP also stands for low prices. Kirk, talk about your deals here.
Man, it's a great time here at Larry Puckett Chevrolet. You know what? Football is here, but football also means fall savings at Larry Puckett Chevrolet. We got great prices. We got a great inventory. We got 0% financing on multiple models. There's never been a bigger time to shop. We have a great selection of used cars. You can go to LarryPuckettChevrolet.com.
Larry Puckett Chevrolet right here in Prattville, Alabama.
Think local. Think of all the skill and talent found right here in our community. Hands that build, hands that feed, teach, protect, and hands that heal. Guardian Credit Union reaches out to people just like you. Handling loans for new cars, opening doors to new homes, saying yes to fun and adventure. When you need a strong, steady financial hand, think local. Think Guardian.
Buffalo Rock is well known for Pepsi and other great soft drink brands. Did you know that Buffalo Rock is one of the River Region's largest full-service caterers? And have you heard about Micro Market? Buffalo Rock is leading the region with innovation to replace conventional vending at many of the larger industrial plants. Plant management loves it, and so do the employees. To find out more about Buffalo Rock Catering and the Micro Market, call Mike Barnett at 334-394-4452. The Buffalo Rock family is proud to support area schools. BuffaloRock.com.
It's time for a trip to Prattville Outdoors at 118 Highway 82 West in Prattville. Prattville Outdoors is locally owned, family operated. The Johnson Brothers and Viv. Prattville Outdoors with a great selection of Gravely zero-turn mowers. These are top zero-turn mowers, residential or commercial. Buy now with no money down, 0% financing for up to 48 months, and they got all the sales and service to back up everything they do there at Prattville Outdoors. So when you're ready to buy a brand new lawnmower, you need to go to the people that know their stuff. Go to PrattvilleOutdoors.com or follow on Facebook.
Give me some U.S. farm-raised catfish. Give me some U.S. farm-raised catfish.
I only use U.S. farm-raised catfish.
We've been selling U.S. farm-raised catfish since 1978.
They do have a choice for a good, wholesome, safe fish. We know it's a good product.
Ask for U.S. farm-raised catfish, only the finest, freshest, tastiest. You can taste the difference.
From our farm to your table, your family deserves the best. U.S. farm-raised catfish.
Chip Powell here with Lewis Mills, service manager of Larry Puckett Chevrolet, Express Oil Change and Tire Engineers. Lewis, talk to us about your Express Oil Change.
Well, our Express Oil Change, we have a full-line mechanical shop. We do 10-minute oil changes, and we are a full-fledged tire shop. We're a direct dealer with Michelin, BF Goodrich, Uniroyal, and Yokohama.
When you need service, your oil change and tires, come here at Larry Puckett Chevrolet, Express Oil Change and Tires Engineer.
Welcome back to the Coach Caleb Ross Show here at Buffalo Wild Wings in High Point Shopping Center, Uptown Prattville. Coach Ross, I'm visiting with you right now, and what a great place to have a coach's show, right? The Buffalo Wild Wings here in Uptown Prattville is the place to be. It's a great crowd already formed here tonight, and it just keeps on piling in here.
There ain't no doubt. What a great venue. You know, man, we come here a good bit. Obviously, Ted, the manager here, man, does an outstanding job. He's been a friend of the program now going on a year and a half. This was kind of a spot that a lot of the coaches we would come to after the game sometimes to get away. Man, it's just a great venue, man. You got everything you want. You got good food. You can watch TV. There's good friends. I mean, it's just a little bit of everything. Great venue to have this show, too. It's one of those things. We kind of knew that going into this. It's going to be a really good deal.
Well, so far we're undefeated having coaches shows right here, so we got to keep it going.
Right here, then. That's right.
And looking back at last week against Foley, Coach, there was probably some things that you expected to happen, maybe some surprises. Talk about some of the players that in your mind really stepped up and maybe showed you something that you weren't expecting.
Yeah, I mean, first I'll talk about our defense, man. I was really proud of, our defensive line. I thought we controlled the line of scrimmage all night, man. Really, Foley could not block us. I mean, a guy like Will McQuiston, he's all over the place, makes plays, experienced guy coming back. He had a great night. Broderius Lewis, man, lining up over the center. I'm telling you, as a former center myself, who proud of myself on being a decent player, Broderius would have been a handful back in the day. He would have, man. That's a strong kid.
Yes, he is.
Man, he had a great game. And, I could go on there. A lot of D-linemen played really, really well, man. At linebacker, even though, man, a lot of stuff because the D-line dominated so well, man, that up front, our linebackers didn't have to make a 10, 15 tackle game, but just so steady, man. And the leader of that defense is Mason Taylor, man. He's just phenomenal in the middle. Keandre Powell has really went over that side, and, man, he's an explosive kid, really got good instincts. And look, man, outside linebacker. I mean, obviously, man, the night that Ian Jackson had was incredible, man. I think he's really moved down to what is real natural for him, man. And one thing we challenged him in this offseason, hey, you got to become he was already a physical player, but you're getting close to the box, you got to become a physical football player. That dude's answered the challenge, man. He's hard to deal with in practice. It was one of those things, I'm glad we played somebody else, because as an offensive guy, I was tired of trying how to block him every day in practice. And you got Deshaun Daniels on the other side. Man, he to me is going to be a breakout player this year. He had a quiet game the other night, just the way it's set up, but he's going to have a really good season. And in the back end, man, the corners weren't tested, but I thought they had great nights. They really did, because they only threw the ball 4 times, but they come up and run support. Trey Thompson, his leadership there, man, so valuable. And our 2 safeties that had a great night, Wade White, Jameer Cromlin, man, Wade had a really good night as well. So. And then the good news about that, man, we got to play so many young guys. You get up and you get to really play most of everybody that got to get in. There might have been a couple guys that didn't, but really builds for the future. There's no substitute for game time experience.
That's right. We were going down the roster we were having a hard time finding people that did not get in that game.
It, man, and any time you can get, you got to do it. Offensively, man, it starts the quarterback. Kyle Kramer had a really good night, man. He was dialed in from getting in through a couple nice balls on the first drive to Taylor. We go up, didn't have to do a whole lot. I mean, I think Kyle might have thrown 13 balls all night. We only had like 21 or 22 offensive snaps for the first group. So, man, he had a good night, man. We rotated 3 or 4 running backs. Jaden Kidd looked impressive.
Sure did.
Albert Taggart, man, he's explosive. He's a young guy. It's only going to get better every day. James Myers, man, a kid that's been really impressive this camp. Hard worker, man. He's come out and had he played well the other night. And then got a chance. Keandre Powell was going to play some there. He's a natural back there. And even really proud of a young guy, Cameron Shepard, man. Come in and had some nice runs. Man, we got a good stable of running backs. And the receiver core, I mean, obviously Taylor Thompson, man. Just one of the best players in the state of Alabama, man. Just had a really dominating game. Had a great night. Kindred Rogers. I think people got to see what Kindred Rogers is about a little bit. And on offense, we had a jet sweep to him, caught a screen, but on special teams. Runs a kickoff back, almost runs another one back. So. And Isaiah Causey, man, I think he's another kid like Deshaun on defense. He's going to have a breakout year. People are going to know who he is by the end of the year. So, and probably the most proudest unit is our offensive line, man. Just proud of those kids. Considering last year, man, just a big improvement. And that group last year improved as the year went on. But, man, much more physical, a little bit bigger, just played really well. And we're going to have to play well tomorrow night if we want to beat Stanhope. But proud of that group. So, man, I know there's a lot of guys we could mention. Special teams. Look at that, man. We obviously you got Elliott Duke, who's solid at PAT. That kid's a worker, man. I really like that kid. Just really, really solid kid. And then from a punt standpoint, we had a pretty good battle between Riley Fairhurst and Caden Gazelle. Riley right now has got the edge. Man, he's really worked himself into helping us out in that position. And Caden's got a big leg. When he starts to really get consistent, he's going to help us. And then, man, the kickoff, man. We talked to a sophomore and coming out in the kick for us named Colin Rogers. 6'3", probably 170 pounds, but got a tremendous leg, man.
Oh, man.
I mean, he hits 3 out of 5 in the end zone. One of those, we got offsides and kicked it from the 35 into the end zone. So,
that's right.
And here's what's impressive. We brought in Connor Harry, who come out. His leg's great, man. He come out and kicked one of the 2 in the end zone. So, man, it's just that's a good situation to have. Just really proud overall of our team.
Nice to have that depth. And you mentioned that connection between Kyle Kramer and Taylor Thompson. I think it was Kyle's dad that showed a picture of him and Taylor from youth lines together sitting on the bench when they were like 7 or 8 years old, and they played together all the way through up to now. That's got to mean a lot to these kids to have that kind of chemistry and that kind of bond between the quarterback and the receiving core.
That's pretty cool, man. Even as a former player, to be able to grow up, and that's what is special about Prattville. And there's always kids going to move in, or a kid may leave or something, but in a place like Prattville, you get to play with the kids you grew up with, and that's really neat. And that relationship has been going on for a long, long time, and it helps, man, because you understand where that guy, they can trust one another, and that's what it comes down to. So
absolutely. Well, before we take our next break, I want to make sure that we get this in. Happy 64th birthday to Chip Powell today. He's in Dallas this weekend. He's probably listening right now.
He appreciates that. That's awesome.
Yeah, we're really proud of him making it 64 years and wish him 64 more. You know, what a guy.
That's close to retirement.
Yeah,
Close
he's
to
not.
Social Security.
It's close. It's close. He can start claiming AARP for long. You know, he's not going to be able to be with us this weekend, so that means our regular sideline analyst, Coach Johnny Burnett, will be up in the press box doing color, and down on the sideline this week will be everybody's favorite sideline analyst, Paw himself, Pratt Bedwell. We're looking forward to that. So you'll have that to look forward to at the end of the game, Coach, and at halftime.
Oh, it's going to be that's an all-star crew right
That's
there.
the all-star crew. Yeah. Well, we've been called other things, but not to our face. Well, we're going to step aside and then take our next break. It's 5:50, 10 till 6. Still plenty of time to come down here to Buffalo Wild Wings and check out all the fun we're having down here. It's the Coach Caleb Ross Show, and we'll be right back after this.
Chip Powell here at Larry Puckett Chevrolet with sales manager Kirk Mims, where LP also stands for low prices. Kirk, talk about your deals here.
Man, it's a great time here at Larry Puckett Chevrolet. You know what? Football is here, but football also means fall savings at Larry Puckett Chevrolet. We got great prices. We got a great inventory. We got 0% financing on multiple models. There's never been a bigger time to shop. We have a great selection of used cars. You can go to LarryPuckettChevrolet.com.
Larry Puckett Chevrolet right here in Prattville, Alabama.
Think local. Think of all the skill and talent found right here in our community. Hands that build, hands that feed, teach, protect, and hands that heal. Guardian Credit Union reaches out to people just like you. Handling loans for new cars, opening doors to new homes, saying yes to fun and adventure. When you need a strong, steady financial hand, think local. Think Guardian.
Buffalo Rock is well known for Pepsi and other great soft drink brands. Did you know that Buffalo Rock is one of the River Region's largest full-service caterers? And have you heard about Micro Market? Buffalo Rock is leading the region with innovation to replace conventional vending at many of the larger industrial plants. Plant management loves it, and so do the employees. To find out more about Buffalo Rock Catering and the Micro Market, call Mike Barnett at 334-394-4452. The Buffalo Rock family is proud to support area schools. BuffaloRock.com.
It's time for a trip to Prattville Outdoors at 118 Highway 82 West in Prattville. Prattville Outdoors is locally owned, family operated. The Johnson brothers and Viv. Prattville Outdoors with a great selection of Gravely zero-turn mowers. These are top zero-turn mowers, residential or commercial. Buy now with no money down, 0% financing for up to 48 months, and they got all the sales and service to back up everything they do there at Prattville Outdoors. So when you're ready to buy a brand new lawnmower, you need to go to the people that know their stuff. Go to PrattvilleOutdoors.com or follow on Facebook.
Give me some U.S. farm-raised catfish. Give me some U.S. farm-raised catfish.
I only use U.S. farm-raised catfish.
We've been selling U.S. farm-raised catfish since 1978.
You do have a choice for a good, wholesome, safe fish. We know it's a good product.
Ask for U.S. farm-raised catfish, only the finest, freshest, tastiest. You can taste the difference.
From our farm to your table, your family deserves the best. U.S. farm-raised catfish.
Chip Powell here with Lewis Mills, service manager of Larry Puckett Chevrolet, express oil change and tire engineers. Lewis, talk to us about your express oil change.
Well, our express oil change, we have a full-line mechanical shop. We do 10-minute oil changes, and we are a full-fledged tire shop. We're a direct dealer with Michelin, BF Goodrich, Uniroyal, and Yokohama.
When you need service, your oil change and tires, come here at Larry Puckett Chevrolet, express oil change and tires engineer.
Welcome back to the Coach Caleb Ross Show here at Buffalo Wild Wings in High Point Shopping Center at Uptown Prattville. We are joined now by our man of the hour, our player of the week, Mr. Ian Jackson, as well as Kip Williams from Buffalo Rock Pepsi, here to make a special presentation to our player of the week. Take it away, Kip.
Okay. Hey, I'm excited to be here and congratulate Ian Jackson on being the Dixie Country Pepsi Buffalo Rock Player of the Week. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Great honor.
Also for our player of the week comes a Sport Clips certificate for an MVP treatment. You will make sure to take advantage of that, Ian. It's the best thing going.
Yes, sir.
Hey, we're real proud to have Buffalo Rock Pepsi as a sponsor of this program. We're real proud to have them present this plaque every week. Kip, we can't thank you guys enough for what you do for the program, what you do for these players each week. It just it means the world to us. We appreciate it.
We're always honored to be a part of Prattville High School and the community in general, but we're just glad to be part of it.
And no player more deserving than the Player of the Week award than this guy right here, Mr. Ian Jackson. Ian, you had 3 solo tackles last week, three assists, and overall just being a really bad person in general to that Foley offense last week. Talk to us about what was going through your mind last week, because you were all over the field. I mean, you were like an unstoppable force out there. Talk to us about last week.
Well, my goal this year was just come out with a different mindset than last year, and just to attack the offense more. And I put in my mind going in the game that I had to do that for us to be successful. And doing that forced it into the D-line. You know, they had a real good game last night, and that's why we had 0 points on the board.
That's right. Look, we try to replicate that tomorrow night against Stanhope. Now, you played in this game a couple times. This might be the first time you've gotten this amount of playing time that you're going to get Friday night. Talk about this rivalry, what it means to you and to your teammates.
Well, we've been playing these guys for a long time, and you know, you hear a lot of talk and stuff, so you just want to go out there and play to the best of your abilities and, you know, come out as the winning team. So
no doubt.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
There's a guy over there that would like to brag on you a little bit. Your defensive coordinator, your coach, Coach Granger Shook. Coach, come on in here and talk a little bit about this young man right here and this team you got with you.
Well, I do. I want to brag on Ian and his teammates. These guys really have put a lot of work in, and not just this past week or last week, really since January. You know, and we talk about all the time how the game is won well before Friday night, and these guys have bought into that. You know, talk about discipline. We talk about hard work. We talk about being violent. You know, and these guys are really buying into that. So I'm proud of them.
There was definitely a whole lot of violence last Friday.
well,
Coach, I know you preach shutout every week, and when you got that, and looking forward again this week. But this is your first year as a defensive coordinator, taking over the helm. But you're also not just the DC; you're also the strength and conditioning coach. Talk about juggling those two roles, critical roles, and you do them both and doing them pretty well. Talk about how you juggle that and maintain the balance.
I'm thankful that Coach Ross has given me the opportunity to continue in the strength capacity. I'm excited to be able to have my hands in both. And, you know, these young men have really bought into the weight room aspect of it. And, you know, Coach does an excellent job of giving me the tools I need and the time we need to be successful in there. And also the defensive staff coaches surrounding me with. I mean, those guys are seasoned. You know, you got a head coach on there with Coach Hall. Coach Wilson has years. Ian is doing it as well. We got some good young coaches on staff. I mean, there's some college football players that have played that position at the next level that are coaching those guys. And so there's a lot of wisdom on that side, you know. So I'm just excited and humbled to be a part of those guys and to, you know, to coach these young men and, you know, trying to be kind of a spark plug, so to speak, for those guys and let them build off the energy we need to be successful. I mean, you got to play with high energy, high intensity. You got to play with a high motor, and I mean that's what it's about. It's about having fun. So,
Coach, you got by far the greatest coaching voice, maybe in all of high school football. I just want to let you know that. I've witnessed you get animated, and I can see why these players could go through a wall for you when you ask them to.
I appreciate it.
But I will say this, you know, it's a small sample size, but when you look at last year's season opener versus this year's season opener against the same team, you know, a 37-0 victory last year, but you felt like it looked like the team was just still trying to find their way, you know, not quite knowing how to you know, put your foot on somebody's throat and just not let up at all. But this past Friday, we saw a totally different. It looked like the mindset had completely changed. Like there was a whole new culture born in this team, and it was just from the opening bell. It was never letting off the gas. What do you attribute that to?
Well, like I said, it all starts at the top. Coach Ross is, you know, since day one, he's brought that mentality and that mindset. And we talk about all the time in the weight room and on the field. It's not what we do; it's how we do it. And you know, getting a win is great, and that's the ultimate goal, of course, on Friday night is to win. But how we win, how we compete on each play, and imposing our will on our opponent. And talk to them all the time. You know, it's each game, win or lose. You know, there's always something we can learn from. And there was a lot of negatives last Friday night that we've been working on to fix for this coming up Friday. And so hopefully we'll see those corrected.
Ian, you got those all worked out now?
Yes, sir.
Well, Coach, we've talked about this rivalry. The Stanhope rivalry is always a competitive, always a close game, always a physical game. What's your message to the defense this week?
Keep doing what we've been doing all week. You know, we've had a pretty good week of practice. You know, there's a lot of things that we still need to improve on, but the energy's been there, the effort's been there, and as long as we keep our energy and effort consistent, you know, I have a, you know, I like what I see. You know, I know Stanhope, like Coach said already, they're big up front, they're strong up front. They have a really good running back who started a lot of games for them. Quarterback is a dual threat guy. They got some guys on the perimeter who can stretch us. So, you know, we're going to have to play, you know, our best game. We are, and those guys know that. So,
coaches are creatures of habit. They like things to be routine. They don't like to get out of the routine. And I know players are that way sometimes too. What's your pregame ritual like when you come into a game? I mean, most folks have something they do that's unique to them. I got to get this done. I got to do it a certain way. You got any pregame rituals that you just have to make sure this gets done a certain way for you?
Well, it mainly starts from, you know, today, coming to the coach's show, listen to what, you know, Coach Ross has to say. And then next day, you know, I tune into the music, you know, sit back, get focused for the game. Don't do a lot of talking around the school and stuff because, you know, I want to keep my mind flatline for the game. Mm-hmm. Get into pregame meal, about the same thing, just listen to my music, and then get ready, get my mind focused for what's the task at hand.
Now you said listen to my music. Everybody here is on bated breath waiting to know what's on your playlist.
I listen to mostly rap because, you know, having that physical mindset, you know, you have to have something that's, you know,
no Carrie Underwood, no Barry Manilow.
Nah.
What do you got? Tell me what's on your playlist. Your go-to. What's your power ballad? Lay it on me.
I'd say probably an NBA YoungBoy.
There you go. Okay. All right. Well, congratulations again on this award. There's a lot of things coming your way, and you have changed from this year to last year. It looks like you've grown and put on some pounds too. You spent a lot of time with Coach Shook in the weight room.
I actually got hurt during baseball season, so
I heard about that.
Yeah, I missed a lot of workouts in the off season, but so when I got healed up, my main thing was to get in the weight room and to eat right, make sure my body would be up to par for this coming up season.
Now yours was a broken wrist, is that right?
Yes, sir.
On the first play of the first game, from what I understand.
Well, the first practice, actually.
First practice. Oh my goodness, that's bad luck. Well, just real quick, let's pause 10 seconds for station ID here on the Prattville Lions Football Network. We'll be right back. 10 seconds. Come right back. Welcome back to the Coach Caleb Ross Show here at Buffalo Wild Wings, chatting with Player of the Week Ian Jackson, defensive coordinator and strength conditioning coach Granger Shook. Looking forward to tomorrow night's I-65 battle, and as Chip Powell calls it, the battle for Bass Pro Shop. Stanhope versus Prattville, a long-standing rivalry. Of course, you know Chip Powell turned 64 today, so I'm sure you want to wish him happy birthday when you see him. But you won't see him until next week. But anyway, looking ahead to the game. You said you've been playing against these guys since you were a kid. Same guys you're growing up with. What's some of your fondest memories of playing against these guys? What's one thing you can pick out and say, I'll never forget that?
Probably in City League. Just I remember I made a big tackle in that game. And it was just like I always want to make a big play every time I play against them, no matter how many it is. I just want it.
That's it. Big-time players make big-time plays. That's exactly right. Coach, heading into the rivalry tomorrow night. Again, it's a series that Prattville has the edge, 29-11-1 over the last 50 years. But again, never a game that's gotten out of hand. It's always been nip and tuck. We don't expect anything less tomorrow night. How do you? What's your message to this team? I mean, clearly, you're coming off a 39-0 shutout against Foley. Trying to stay hungry, trying to keep these kids motivated to continue that upward trajectory. Talk a little bit about preparation for this week?
Well, we talk all the time about, it's not really about our opponent, but it's about us. And as long as we have that mindset each and every day about us improving on the things we know it takes to be successful, we have a good chance to be successful. I mean, Stanhope is a very, very respected team, and again, they got guys who can take it the distance each and every play. So we talk about the little things every day. I mean, tackling. We talk about running to the ball. I mean, we have motivational tactics to make sure we do that each and every day. So, I mean, football's football. So those things will always win football games. And but as far as us being motivated, we don't need it. I mean, I've heard, and it's the way social media now is nowadays. I mean, these players have been talking to each other for probably several weeks now. So I think both teams will be highly motivated tomorrow night. I think it's the team that's the most disciplined will probably win tomorrow night.
One of the things I know that you've got to be most proud of right now is the renovation of the indoor field house.
Yes.
I know it's a beautiful. If you haven't had a chance to see it, go by the athletic field house and see what they've done there. It's a beautiful new facility there, renovated. I think it was erected in 2005. 15 years later, here come renovations, and that I think has prompted a stronger sense of pride in this team. I look at the max out boards you've got on the Iron Pride wall, where it shows the players that have the strongest, the highest bench, highest squat, highest deadlift. Right. And those numbers keep on climbing every week. Mm-hmm. I know you got to be proud of that.
We are proud of it. And like I said, Coach gives us ample time in there to get stronger. And we have resources to feed our players and make sure our players are doing the things they need to be successful. And, yes, there is a huge sense of pride in that new facility. I mean, the new floor, the new turf, I mean, those guys really take pride in that. And it's been a shot in the arm. It really has, as far as energy and emotion during the workouts. And, our guys are going to take care of it and treat it how it's supposed to be treated. So we're very proud of that.
You mentioned what it takes to feed these players too, and you literally mean feed them.
Right.
Talk about what it takes to as far as for a community effort to get these kids the nutrition that they need.
Oh man, we have parents, outside entities. I mean, we had a local organization last night feed our players. I mean, they brought pizza up there, and it was a great time of fellowship after practice. I mean, it was a long practice. It was hot, but it was good just to, kind of let our hair down, so to speak, mm-hmm. and eat with our players and, talk to them, check on them. And, it's a community effort as far as that goes. And we feed them, really all week. It takes the whole staff, to help with that. And again, we're trying to give these young men every opportunity and every resource we can to help them be successful.
Absolutely, absolutely. And we mentioned the community that just takes this team in and takes them under their wing, and that's part of what makes Prattville great. And this coaching staff that goes well beyond the playing field to make sure these kids are taken care of. Yes. I know you and Coach Ross and the rest of the staff spend countless hours off the playing field working with these guys. Right. Talk a little bit about what goes into that.
Well, I mean, there's a lot. I mean, the staff, we spend a lot of hours on the field, in the classrooms with them, in the film rooms with them. But I think off the field, away from football, is just as, if not more important. And that is when you really start to build relationships with these young people. And that's what it's about. Coach talks about all the time. If all we teach you is football, we failed you. Mm-hmm. And having pool parties, taking them to CCs, spending time with them away from places from the field house. Those are the memories, that will last. So it takes a lot, but that's why we do it. That's why we coach, and that's why we're teachers, is to make lasting impacts on these young people.
Absolutely, Ian. Aside from learning football, which you clearly have, what are some of the things that you're learning that you're taking away from this besides just learning how to play football?
When you work hard in life, that it'll pay off, not just on the field in your work. You always have to come prepared, and like Coach Ross says a lot, you come not expecting to do work and not expecting to do it to the fullest, because that's how you end up without a job. So you always have to come with the right mindset.
That's right. That's right. Absolutely. Couldn't have said it better myself. Well said. Well said. We're going to have to get to our next break. Congratulations once again to our Buffalo Rock Pepsi Player of the Week, Mr. Ian Jackson. Heading into tomorrow's big game against Stanhope. Good luck to you, sir. We look forward for great things from you again out there. Maybe you can get this plaque again next week. Who knows? Who knows? Just do it. Just repeat last week, and maybe who knows?
Yes, sir.
Well, good luck to you, man. We'll let you get back with your family over there. Coach Shook, thank you as well.
Yes, thank you.
When we come back, the Coach Caleb Ross Show rolls on from Buffalo Wild Wings here in Prattville.
Chip Powell here at Larry Puckett Chevrolet with sales manager Kirk Mims, where LP also stands for low prices. Kirk, talk about your deals here.
Man, it's a great time here at Larry Puckett Chevrolet. You know what? Football is here, but football also means fall savings at Larry Puckett Chevrolet. We got great prices. We got a great inventory. We got 0% financing on multiple models. There's never been a bigger time to shop. We have a great selection of used cars. You can go to LarryPuckettChevrolet.com.
Larry Puckett Chevrolet right here in Prattville, Alabama.
Think local. Think of all the skill and talent found right here in our community. Hands that build, hands that feed, teach, protect, and hands that heal. Guardian Credit Union reaches out to people just like you. Handling loans for new cars, opening doors to new homes, saying yes to fun and adventure. When you need a strong, steady financial hand, think local. Think Guardian.
Buffalo Rock is well known for Pepsi and other great soft drink brands. Did you know that Buffalo Rock is one of the River Region's largest full-service caterers? And have you heard about Micro Market? Buffalo Rock is leading the region with innovation to replace conventional vending at many of the larger industrial plants. Plant management loves it, and so do the employees. To find out more about Buffalo Rock Catering and the Micro Market, call Mike Barnett at 334-394-4452. The Buffalo Rock family is proud to support area schools. BuffaloRock.com.
It's time for a trip to Prattville Outdoors at 118 Highway 82 West in Prattville. Prattville Outdoors is locally owned, family operated. The Johnson brothers and Viv. Prattville Outdoors with a great selection of Gravely zero-turn mowers. These are top zero-turn mowers, residential or commercial. Buy now with no money down, 0% financing for up to 48 months, and they got all the sales and service to back up everything they do there at Prattville Outdoors. So when you're ready to buy a brand new lawnmower, you need to go to the people that know their stuff. Go to PrattvilleOutdoors.com or follow on Facebook.
Give me some U.S. farm-raised catfish. Give me some U.S. farm-raised catfish.
I only use U.S. farm-raised catfish.
We've been selling U.S. farm-raised catfish since 1978.
You do have a choice for a good, wholesome, safe fish. We know it's a good product.
Ask for U.S. farm-raised catfish, only the finest, freshest, tastiest. You can taste the difference.
From our farm to your table, your family deserves the best. U.S. farm-raised catfish.
Chip Powell here with Lewis Mills, service manager of Larry Puckett Chevrolet, express oil change and tire engineers. Lewis, talk to us about your express oil change.
Well, our express oil change, we have a full-line mechanical shop. We do 10-minute oil changes, and we are a full-fledged tire shop. We're a direct dealer with Michelin, BF Goodrich, Uniroyal, and Yokohama.
When you need service, your oil change and tires, come here at Larry Puckett Chevrolet, express oil change and tires engineer.
That's all I can see. Welcome back to Buffalo Wild Wings in Prattville. It's the Coach Caleb Ross Show. It's 6:13, heading into our final segments of the Coach Caleb Ross Show for week number 2. It's time to really break down this game tonight, Coach. You got tomorrow night. We know definitely what Central's going to come with. They're strong. They're strong up front on both sides of the ball. They like to run the ball. What does Prattville have to do tomorrow night to come away with a win?
Well, I mean, if you look at our defense standpoint, man, we got to control the line of scrimmage. I mean, you can't let them just impose their will running the football. We're going to have to control the line of scrimmage. We can't give up big plays. Like I said, Stanhope's probably not a team that's going to come out throwing it 30, 40 times a game. That's just not who they are. Mm-hmm. But we can't get lulled to sleep, run, play action, and give up a big play. You just can't. It really starts up front. It always will. I think that's critical, man. We've got to make them – got to put them in some long yardage situations, man. I think it's giving up. Hey, you can't give up 4 or 5 yards a carry. You got to make them earn it. I think that's one thing. Just make them earn their yards, and they're going to make some plays now. They're too good. I mean, they're good They're good players. They got good running backs, good O-line. They're going to make some plays, but we got to limit those. From an offense standpoint, we cannot let their D-line take over the game. I mean, because they're that good, and they're really good football. Like I said, there's a couple college prospects there. Man, they're explosive, strong kids, man, and got game experience. So we're going to have to not let them take over the game. You know, we got to make plays when we got to go execute. Man, offense to me is all about execution. Can you block? Can you pitch and catch? Offense to quarterback to wide receiver, and like anything. This sounds such coaching cliche, but it's true, man. You can't turn the ball over. We can't put it on the ground. We can't have an ill-advised throw that gets an interception to give any type of momentum. It's going to be an emotional game. There's going to be that involved, so we can't give any more emotion to the other team. Like give them a big play. And, man, we got to go create a turnover. Man, we got to somehow get a fumble. We got to get a pick, in a critical situation. I think that really defined last year's game. I think both sides, man, it was one of those nights when it rained, was muddy, all that stuff, and it was. I mean, we had turned it over and turned it right back around. They'd turned it over. It was like neither one really wanted to win this game. So, but I hope we don't have another repeat of that. But anyway, that to me, that's going to be critical, and not. We got to go win special teams. We've got to go take advantage, win special teams, flip fields when we need to, take advantage of points when we got them. So,
well, limiting the big play on defense shouldn't be too much of a challenge when you got folks like Ian Jackson in that backfield. I know you got to be proud of the development of Ian Jackson. We just had him on a second ago, and you didn't get a chance to talk about him, but he's emerging as one of the premier players on that defense.
He is, and like I said, we talked about him stepping up his physicality, earlier, but man, Ian's just a great young man. He's a natural leader. He is. Man, he's got all the right tools. He's been raised the right way. He's got great work ethic. He wants to be great, and that's to me that starts there, man. You got to have a desire to be better than average. You got to have a desire to be a great football player, a great person, and we do. We talk to these kids all the time about, man, this ain't just a football deal. I mean, it's every day the rest of your life. You got to wake up deciding, man, I want to be the best I can be today. And it's a battle with yourself. We all go through that. And that's what we challenge these kids all the time. Ian gets it. He absolutely gets it. We've moved him to a new position that we think deep down is going to help him. He's already getting a lot of college attention. He's already got a D1 offer. I mean, the sky's the limit. You're talking about just the tip of the iceberg of how good this kid can be. And we're extremely proud of him, man. And he's starting to, and we got some natural leaders on that defense. Ian's obviously not the only kid. We got a lot of good ones that do the right things. But man, he is really starting to become the player that we want him to be, and the player that we thought he could be.
You mentioned earlier the natural leaders on that team, like on the defensive squad, like Mason Taylor, Will McQuiston, Ian Jackson, and on the offensive side, they're emerging as well. But that doesn't come by just teaching them football. Like Coach Shook was saying earlier, like you said to them, if all we teach them is football, we failed them. And those life lessons that you pour into them, that the community helps pour into them through time off the field and then through the prayer breakfast, things like that, and it makes the team better as a whole, and that's really translating right now.
It is, and man, football, what's the beauty about high school football, and it's the game itself. I mean, you learn so many lessons. I'll tell, man, hey, we're proud to have a undergrad and a master's degree. We got 2 degrees, but I learned as much on a football field as I ever did in the classroom. And maybe some people that are high academics don't want to hear those things, but I did, and I took my grades serious as well. But to me, football, the game itself, man, teaches you so much. I mean, and it gets cliche, but it does, man. You got to go grind through the days when you don't want to go do something, but you know what? You got to, or you're going to have to learn how to handle adversity. You're going to have to learn how to handle a loss, and then you got to learn how to handle wins.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you ain't always going to be on top, so it's because you can't get complacent. There's so many lessons. We do, man. We got great coaches. To me, you put great people around them, and then we put them in. We try to put those guys in so many. We talk about leadership, and we do all those things, but to me, that's why we do the all-season competition teams, and we do so much competition, and we divide them up, give them chances to be leaders, and get them chances to go make decisions on their own. And to me, that's just the key. It takes a village, man. Everybody knows that, and we got a place that does care, that does pour into our kids. The community cares. They get it in the community. They get it in the school. They get it on Friday nights, man. There's so many, and that's what I tell our guys. You can't skirt that responsibility. You know what I mean? Of being a leader in this community. You may not want it, but it doesn't matter. You are. You're a football player, and I tell them all the time. I said, look, as a leader of the program, the 7A program here at Prattville, I can't be Caleb. I can't even be Daddy. I've got to be Coach Ross all the time. I said, and that's just the responsibility that comes with that. I said, you're going to get a lot of popularity. You're going to get a lot of respect being a football player. Some you've earned, some you hadn't earned. So the responsibility that comes with that is you got to carry yourself a certain way. constantly preaching that to our kids. And, man, our kids respond well. We're getting there. The culture's getting there. The mindset. We're not there yet, but it's every day we get closer and closer to what my vision was, what our vision was when we took the job.
When you step onto that field tomorrow night in the home opener, it's going to be a huge crowd. This is not starting out with some team that doesn't travel well. This is a team coming from 10 miles away with the mindset of coming in here to win. And you've got a lot of rising sophomores this year that are going to see significant playing time tomorrow. I saw significant playing time, some even as starters last Friday. How do you keep them dialed in and focused in a situation like tomorrow night when it's just going to be a capacity crowd and lots of pressure to perform?
Well, that's what you worry about when you play young guys. Can they handle the moment? I mean, you're right. We got some talented young guys, but have they been in that situation enough where they can handle that moment? And to me, you got to – that's why we put them in competitive situations. We make practice sometimes as intense as possible because I want them to be – it's going to be intense in that game. Mm-hmm. We go to the 7-on-7, like in Hoover. It's a big tournament. There's a lot of people around. I want them to understand that feel that people are watching them all the time. And to me, that's the only way I know how to do that. You just got to keep putting them in that situation where kids will respond the right way. And man, every opportunity you got to teach them, man. And that is your worry. I mean, that is when you play with young guys. But the only way you're going to learn is to get the experience.
That's right. And so far, the response has been overwhelmingly positive. Well, Coach, we're going to step aside and get our last break of the Coach Caleb Ross Show. When we come back, and updated from the venerated quarterback club when Prattville football, on the Coach Caleb Ross Show rolls on after these words.
Chip Powell here at Larry Puckett Chevrolet with sales manager Kirk Mims, where LP also stands for low prices. Kirk, talk about your deals here.
Man, it's a great time here at Larry Puckett Chevrolet. You know what? Football is here, but football also means fall savings at Larry Puckett Chevrolet. We got great prices. We got a great inventory. We got 0% financing on multiple models. There's never been a bigger time to shop. We have a great selection of used cars. You can go to LarryPuckettChevrolet.com.
Larry Puckett Chevrolet right here in Prattville, Alabama.
Think local. Think of all the skill and talent found right here in our community. Hands that build, hands that feed, teach, protect, and hands that heal. Guardian Credit Union reaches out to people just like you. Handling loans for new cars, opening doors to new homes, saying yes to fun and adventure. When you need a strong, steady financial hand, think local. Think Guardian.
Buffalo Rock is well known for Pepsi and other great soft drink brands. Did you know that Buffalo Rock is one of the River Region's largest full-service caterers? And have you heard about Micro Market? Buffalo Rock is leading the region with innovation to replace conventional vending at many of the larger industrial plants. Plant management loves it, and so do the employees. To find out more about Buffalo Rock Catering and the Micro Market, call Mike Barnett at 334-394-4452. The Buffalo Rock family is proud to support area schools. BuffaloRock.com.
It's time for a trip to Prattville Outdoors at 118 Highway 82 West in Prattville. Prattville Outdoors is locally owned, family operated. The Johnson brothers and Viv. Prattville Outdoors with a great selection of Gravely zero-turn mowers. These are top zero-turn mowers, residential or commercial. Buy now with no money down, 0% financing for up to 48 months, and they got all the sales and service to back up everything they do there at Prattville Outdoors. So when you're ready to buy a brand new lawnmower, you need to go to the people that know their stuff. Go to PrattvilleOutdoors.com or follow on Facebook.
Give me some U.S. farm-raised catfish. Give me some U.S. farm-raised catfish.
I only use U.S. farm-raised catfish.
We've been selling U.S. farm-raised catfish since 1978.
You do have a choice for a good, wholesome, safe fish. We know it's a good product.
Ask for U.S. farm-raised catfish, only the finest, freshest, tastiest. You can taste the difference.
From our farm to your table, your family deserves the best. U.S. farm-raised catfish.
Chip Powell here with Lewis Mills, service manager of Larry Puckett Chevrolet, Express Oil Change and Tire Engineers. Lewis, talk to us about your Express Oil Change.
Well, our Express Oil Change, we have a full-line mechanical shop. We do 10-minute oil changes, and we are a full-fledged tire shop. We're a direct dealer with Michelin, BF Goodrich, Uniroyal, and Yokohama.
When you need service, your oil change and tires, come here at Larry Puckett Chevrolet, Express Oil Change and Tires Engineer.
Welcome back to the Coach Caleb Ross Show. Final segment here from Buffalo Wild Wings. I'm Will Barrett, and we are joined now by the president of the quarterback club and the father of QB1, Mr. Eric Kramer.
Hey, Will, how are you?
I'm doing well. How are you, sir?
Doing good, doing good. Excited for this season. It's the final ride, if you will.
Absolutely. Thanks for taking some time to catch us up on what's going on with the quarterback club. Now, there's a ton of responsibility that goes on to putting a Friday night together and to putting this team together each year. And the quarterback club shoulders a lot of that burden. Talk to us a little bit about the Friday night routine for the quarterback club.
So, first of all, we're obviously really excited for this year. Coach Ross's second year, we've had a lot more support from the community and a lot more involvement from parents. And so our quarterback club has definitely been able to grow. We're better funded now with better sponsors and more sponsors. And that definitely makes things a lot easier.
Yeah.
Getting more people involved. That's really where our biggest need is. Friday nights are definitely really, really busy, and that usually starts that Monday before, making sure that we've got everything lined up that we need, make sure that we have all the volunteers that we need, and figuring out when everybody needs to be down there, set up our apparel trailer to make sure everybody gets their Prattville Lions swag that they need for the game. Also making sure that the field goal nets are up and all the sponsors' signs and all of their advertisements are taken care of. And then just making sure that, Coach Ross has everything that he needs so that he doesn't have to worry about those things. He can focus on the game.
And the swag trailer really stepped up again this year. It was a big step up last year. It's even improved this year. What are some of the hot ticket items in the swag trailer this year?
Well, obviously we got a lot of new items, and actually I haven't even seen all of them yet. We've got Miss Kalila Brooks has been in charge of our apparel trailer this year, along with Tequila Underwood, and they've always done a really good job of picking out items that they know our fans want to wear and want to see. And of course, we work with Coach Ross to get our Nike apparel through BSN, and that supports the school as well. So we order our Nike stuff through them and make sure we have that as well. So because everybody wants to wear what the coaches have and what the players have, so we make sure we have that as well.
I know Friday nights you've got to be torn between your QB club duties and your QB1 dad duties too. I know that it's senior year for your son, who's the starting quarterback, and Kyle Kramer, and how do you? I mean, what's that balance like for you? You want to watch him, but you got these other responsibilities too. What's that like?
Well, obviously, I make sure that all of the people in our quarterback club have what they need. The apparel trailer has what they need, that they're set up, that our volunteers have what they need for the nets. But also, it's been a great pleasure and an honor to be able to be on the sideline taking pictures. Ever since he was playing Little League football all the way through freshman, JV, and now varsity football. It's been a great honor to be on the sidelines, being a part of that. So in those duties, I naturally had the ability to kind of be in the action and be there to be able to be a part of that and see that firsthand. So
it's a good thing. It's a wonderful thing. Now tell us a little bit about this. There are some people that will say, I want to be a part of the quarterback club, but I don't know how. What can you tell people that are listening that would say, how do I get involved with the quarterback club?
Yeah, absolutely. That's definitely one of the biggest things that we need the most help with. We are all over social media. Jimbo Thompson, Taylor Thompson's dad, is our social media manager and does an outstanding job of getting information out there. On Facebook, our Prattville Lions football official Facebook page. You can go there and get tons of information. We also are on Instagram and on Twitter. And then we have a brand new website this year, prattvillelions.com. We have ways to sign up and volunteer information, points of contact. So there's tons of ways for us to reach, for people that want to help, to reach out to us. We definitely need help. Every one of our home games, we have 5 home games starting tomorrow. We need help with parking. We need parking volunteers because we have at least a need there. We need help on the field getting all the signs set up. We need help setting up their apparel trailer and running that. And then one of the biggest things that we started doing last year that we need a lot of help with as well is on Sunday afternoons we feed the coaches.
Yeah.
So they're there, they come in after church, they spend the majority of the day there planning for that next week, and it really starts there. And so one way that we can help them is to give them the time to do that, is to bring them a meal. Last year worked out really great. We had a lot of great moms and dads that brought meals in, kind of like a potluck type situation. They'd bring those items in and the coaches could just keep going. Keep working and just kind of eat while they were working. So we definitely need some help there too. So definitely, if you're willing to help out, reach out to us either through social media or on our website, or just give me a call directly through Amy Jo at the Fieldhouse.
You heard it right there, prattvillelions.com. There's no excuse. Get involved. Thank you, Mr. Kramer.
Yes,
Thanks
sir.
for joining us, and we'll see you all guys next week. This has been the Coach Caleb Ross Show. In 2 weeks, we'll see you again because we're off next week. The Hey Coach Show is next. Thank you for listening. Thank you for being a part of the Coach Caleb Ross Show. We'll see you tomorrow night. Good night. God bless, and go Lions.